how are you doing? And thank you for joining us. We are coming to you from the legendary Cabo Wabo Cantina in Cabo San Lucas. And here with us is the one and the only Jorge Viaña, one of the greats and one of also an iconic personality here in Cabo. Welcome and thank you, Jorge.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be part of this moments that we are gonna talk about Cabo San Lucas and the way Cabo Wabo started, how Sammy and I got to meet and see how things started the Cabo Wabo.
But you know, so many people know you through the years, personalities, people that come and take the picture outside. You're a very big part of the community as you have helped so many people here. But we want to hear also the story. Where are you from and how did you come to Cabo?
Well, basically I was born in South America, in La Paz, Bolivia. And my family had to go to Peru because the situation in Bolivia was a civil war. So we moved to Peru, and then from Peru we moved to Mexico. I came to Mexico City when I was 9 years old, and I went to school there, and I went to LA to high school. Then I came back to Mexico City, and I started administration, hotel administration. After finishing school, I found out there was a job in Cabo San Lucas at the Hyatt Hotel. I started working as a bellman and then front desk, and then I became the assistant manager of the hotel, 125-room hotel in Cabo Bello. Then, for some reasons, I changed to the Twin Dolphin Hotel. They asked me if we want to join them, and I moved to the Twin Dolphin with Candido Garcia, which was a great manager. And I started meeting all these famous people coming to the hotel. It was only 52 rooms, suites that every personality from Hollywood, sports, or actors and musicians show up to the hotel for a short stay, even models, all the models of the world for Vogue, Cosmopolitan, and Allure, and 17, I don't remember which magazines, women stuff, you know what I mean?
But so many of
fashion,
them.
You know? And it was very interesting to meet all these beautiful ladies and these movie stars and rock stars. And finally, I had to meet Keith Richards, and Keith Richards was the biggest sensation, the biggest personality I met at the Twin Dolphin Hotel. And
now, what year is this?
That's, I'd probably say 1983.
There was not a lot of things here back then, I remember.
Yep, it was a very small village. You know, I got here, there was only 5,000 people. 1976.
Wow.
So I've been in Cabo 45 years. Well, so Keith Richards, we became a little friends. And this is a very funny story because I was working on the daytime at the Twin Dolphin, and the evenings I work at Alfonso's restaurant.
You had 2 jobs.
2 jobs, and that's why Sammy liked me. I'll tell you why later.
Okay.
And Keith Richards was on the gas station, the only gas station in town. And I show up to the gas station, and he went to his car and grabbed a bottle of tequila. And he said, "What do you think about this tequila?" And I said, "It's okay, it's okay tequila." And so he opened it, and we sat on the curb where the pumps are on the gas station, and we started drinking. One sip him, me, and we saw the guy at the gas station. He calls him, the 3 of us.
The dispenser.
Yeah, the dispenser, the guy who works
church.
at the gas station, and we had shots of tequila, blah, blah, blah. We almost finished the bottle, and then we left. I went home, and next day he showed up to Alfonso's, and he says, "Jorge, I'm gonna get married. Can you help me out with my bachelor party?" I said, "Sure, no problem." Where? Right here at Alfonso's. Okay, so it was on the beach. It's where Pueblo Bonito is now, between Las Palmas and Ocho Cascadas. So we had a party there, and I had to rent a piano, and there was only one piano in town, but I got a piano from the teacher, school teacher, and she was like all worried about her piano. So we put the piano and the food and everything else, and the guests started arriving, and suddenly I see Mick Jagger walking in. That was a huge moment for me. And I shook his hand and said hi, and some other people showed up. The only Rolling Stone was Mick Jagger, and obviously Keith Richards. The rest didn't come. So later, they played the piano, the acoustic guitar, and we had a great evening. The next day was the wedding at the Finisterra Hotel, and it was a very small wedding, just a few people, and then the party was at a trailer park, a Faro trailer park. So Sammy saw that on a magazine, I think it was People magazine, and he came to Cabo to see where Keith Richards was in Cabo. So he booked his room at the Twin Dolphin Hotel, and I met him there. And probably the first question he made to me is, "Did you meet Keith Richards?" I said, "Yeah." Of course, I met Keith Richards. And Patty Hansen, of course, you know, and I went to his wedding. "Oh yeah, you did?" Yes, I did. Then Sammy had Andrew, was a baby on that time. Now Andrew, I think, is 37, 38 years old now. And Andrew walked with him at the lobby, and there was a parrot in a cage. And the parrot, his name was Paco. And I said, "Hey, get some M&Ms from the store with peanuts, and the parrot is gonna make some tricks for your kid." And he did. He went and get them, and he says, "Hey man, my kid loved it. Andrew was so happy to see that parrot doing those tricks." That was the first time I saw him. The next day I saw him again, 52-room hotel. You know all the guests. Basically, remember every guest, the names and everything else. So the next day he says to me, "Hey, I want to go to town. I have to make a phone call."
Oh boy, a phone call in town at that time.
And there's no phone. There's no phones in Cabo. Probably there was only 100 lines of phones in the whole town. No, I'm exaggerating. Probably 50.
I think so.
And Sammy wanted to make a phone call to his manager, and we came to town, and he said, "Well, I'll get you a cab." And he says, "No, I want you to take me in your car." "You have a car?" "Yes, I have a car." "Okay, let's go." So I got off from the Twin Dolphin at 3 p.m. So Sammy was there with his former wife and Andrew, and we came to town, and he made his phone call, and we went to the Aramburo, which was a block away from here, right on the corner of the plaza, and we bought some juice and diapers for Andrew, and he said, "Let's have a drink." Okay. So we went to the Giggly Martin around the corner, and the funny thing is that was a two-way street before, and you could park anywhere on the dirt because it was paved only two lanes, and the rest was dirt. So we parked and got in there. We had a couple of margaritas, and then suddenly I said, "I have to go." He says, "Why? You're not taking me to the hotel?" I said, "No. I'm gonna go home, take a shower, and change my uniform to go to my other job." "What do you do?" I says, I work the front desk in the daytime, and I'm a waiter at evenings at Alfonso's." And he says, "Why you are doing that? Why you had two jobs?" "Because I'm saving money to open a bar." And that was the magic thing. That I think that moment for him was this guy wants to open a bar. Okay. And he kept it in his mind. A few months later, my wife, my ex-wife, she gets a phone call at home, and she doesn't speak English, so she hang up. It was Sammy, and he tried to call and reach me, and suddenly, this is the funniest thing, Sammy probably doesn't remember this, but a guy shows up to my house, knocks at the door, and my wife is there, and there's a package. She signs, and the guy flew from LA, delivered the package, and went back to LA the same day.
Oh, wow.
So when I came back from the hotel, I opened the package, and it's a little box with an answering machine. Hook it up, Jorge, Sammy. So I hook it up, and the little cassette, okay, I put it. Remember those things? So finally, I hook it up, and a couple of days later, my wife says, "Hey, the gringo called you." There's a message. So I listened to the message with Sammy, and he says, "Call me, collect to this number." So I call him. He says, "Hey, Jorge, remember you didn't know who I was, and you thought you questioned me about being the Van Halen lead singer. You're still thinking I'm the other Van Halen singer." So I said, "Okay, I want you to come to a show in San Diego, to the sports arena. Do you have a passport? Do you have a visa?" I said, "Yes, I do." "Okay. So fax me your passports and your visas and all the information so I can get your tickets so you come to San Diego." Okay, so I did it. I asked the Twin Dolphin, because I didn't have a fax. I used the Twin Dolphin fax machine, and I sent the fax to Sammy's assistant. And a couple of weeks later, the same guy who flew with the answering machine knocks at the door again at my house, gives a package to my wife, she signs, and the guy leaves. When I come back from the hotel, I open it, and there's 4 airline tickets to fly to San Diego.
Crazy.
And we flew to San Diego, and it was amazing. My daughter, Jimena and Karina, were so impressed because there was a white limo in front of us. When at the airport, they pick us up and they take us to Coronado Island, to the hotel, beautiful area, excellent. So we get to the hotel, and we get a beautiful 2-bedroom suite facing the ocean. And then the door knocks, and it's Sarah North was Sammy's assistant, and Sarah says, "Jorge, Sammy wants to meet you at 7:30 in this room." Okay, so I went to the room, and I get there, and Andrew and some other people were there, and Sammy says, "Oh man, I'm glad you made it. Whatever you need, room service, whatever, drinks, food, whatever you need, your kids, have fun, enjoy. And we can leave in 45 minutes to the venue, so get ready." So we get to the lobby 45 minutes later, and Michael Anthony comes this way, and I meet Mikey, and we go to the venue in the limo, and in the other limo was Alex and Eddie Van Halen. And the police, the motorcycles open, in front of us. It was the arcade,
That must have
It
been.
was. I was like, wow, what a great thing, We get there, we get to the venue, and Sammy shows me around, and there's, the food and all the catering and the whole thing, and I meet so many people and shaking hands to a lot of people. And suddenly he says, "Follow me," and we get to a room, and there's Eddie and Alex. And I meet him and shook their hands and say hi to him and talk to him for a little while, and then they had to get ready for the show, so I left. We saw the show. At the end of the show, Sammy says to me, "Jorge, we're gonna have a little dinner after the show, and come over." And it was in one of the areas of where the players have all the equipment, and so they had tables and food and everything, and Sammy grabs a bottle of tequila and hits the bottle and says, "Hey, attention," to his family and friends, and says, "Guess what? This is Jorge, the guy I met in Cabo. And you know something? He has a dream, and I have a dream, and we're gonna open a bar in Cabo."
Oh.
So it was a great surprise for me, and so that's how we started, really, the Cabo Wabo.
What a fantastic story.
And yeah, it was amazing. So Sammy decided to have a club, small bar in Cabo San Lucas. So we bought this property, and there was only 3 palm trees where the stage is now. Now they are at the front. We moved them. They were tiny. Now they're huge.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, we moved them,
Cool.
and we started construction. Well, first of all, we have to decide who's going to be the architect and who's going to design the whole bar and everything else. So Sammy says, do a contest with the local architects. There's no local architect, Sammy. Let's see what we can do. So I found 5 architects, and I wrote what I wanted, the store, the patio, restrooms, the stage, this room, offices, restrooms, everything, kitchens, and I wrote it on the square, the plan and the level of the property, and I gave them to these 5 architects different copies. And I'll see you guys in a month. Do whatever you guys decide. In a month, we'll see you. A month later, one of them thought it was a joke, and he didn't do nothing. He didn't believe me.
He let an opportunity like this pass
He didn't
him
do
by?
nothing. He didn't do nothing.
He didn't believe you?
Yeah,
How many times does that happen? Is that guy
this guy thought I was joking, and he didn't do nothing.
regretful
This
right now,
architect,
or what?
one, so we got four left. Other one, I don't want to mention names, but he did just a piece of paper, some drawings, trash. We had 3 left. Those 3, the 3 of them, really beautiful, the 3 of them. They were so different. One was very modern by Jacinto Ábalos, and the other one was out of proportion. It was too much. The stage was going to move from the ground up and things like that. This is an architect who lived across the street many years ago. And the third architect was Marco Monroy, and he won. He won the contest. And the Faro was the thing that Sammy saw, and this is the one. Let's do it. So I called Marco and says, "You won, man! Congratulations!"
Cool.
So we made some changes on his original plan, and then I bought the property. All these things to build it, start building and building and building. And Sammy was on tour with Van Halen in Europe, and they were, Jorge is spending too much money. Eddie, Alex, Michael, they were backstage talking and says, what is he doing? So Sammy calls me and says, "Jorge, man, the band, Eddie, our manager, Leffler, everybody's saying, why Jorge is spending so much money?" And he says, "How much is the square feet?" I said, "Sammy, we don't talk in square feet, we talk in square meters."
Yes.
So that was the difference. This bar is supposed to be 1/3 smaller than it is now. This room was this big on the floor plans now. I'm glad we had that mistake.
Yes.
We have a perfect size of bar and cantina, and suddenly they realize, oh my God, it's a huge place, so it worked better. But that confusion with Sammy and Eddie, Alex, Michael were like Jorge's spending so much money. And well, we finished the bar. We went to Guadalajara to buy the furniture. We went the doors, that door like you see right there, and all kinds of things. And
they're all the originals from where it began.
yes. On April 22nd, 1990, we opened. And to open, we had to have to fly a lot of people down here. So I talked to Arechiga. Arechi was the owner of Idaho, California, and we did an exchange of some promotion on MTV. He gave us the planes to fly the people down.
Cool.
And that was a great deal. And Plaza Las Glorias gave us 120 comp rooms for the same thing. They were sponsors of the opening. And all these people flew down, all these rock stars and women, you know, that you don't see very often in Cabo. Everybody was like, wow, wow, and everybody was, suddenly in Cabo, I am, Jorge, I buy you lunch and I buy you dinner. And,
of course.
My kids never go to those parties, and suddenly the piñatas for my daughters on these parties, on this and that. I was, oh my God, so suddenly thanks to Cabo Wabo, I became a celebrity in this town, and everybody was like trying to be my friend because everybody wanted to come to that night, that opening. It was Van Halen was going to play. It was all over the world, the news that Van Halen was going to open the Cabo Wabo. So we opened that night, and it was not easy. It was too big at the beginning to fill it up, 450 people in this bar. Now 450, now we have 600 people. Well, right now with the pandemic now, but regularly we have 600 people. And that time to get
lines all the way across.
Yep, but that's happening, That started in 1992 when Sammy had a great idea to have the birthday bash, and October 13th was the first birthday bash, and so people started getting excited to come to that party, and we had 4 shows and some guests, and we had all kinds of things going on. Then Alice Cooper decided to do a live album at the Cantina, so we had Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie, Slash, and Sammy, and we had a album live at the Cantina. It was another thing that happened, and it was beautiful. And believe me, I was the most excited guy in my life.
But one of the things that you were saying is that from all of this attention and everything, you have always stayed so humble. And that's why all the community in Cabo love you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Definitely it's a responsibility to be manager of this bar, and we have so many employees, so many families who depend on us. I have great employees, great staff, that I still have 2 since day one. They're going to be working with us 32 years this April 22nd. Is Manuel Mora, and this gal, she was 17 when she started with us, and she is almost a grandmother now. But Araceli, and she's a great lady, and we had a great time with her. She works every day, and Manuel is in vacations right now, but he's a great guy. I met him at the Hyatt Hotel, and we started working there together, and we work at Alfonso's, and then we work here together because he's my friend and an employee, and a great employee. And we have so many employees that have come, and some of them are gone. They open their own businesses. They open their own ideas to have different kind of businesses, and Here we have, probably you know him as Manolo Bobadilla, who has Puerta Vieja. He worked here, and he has his restaurant, and he's a friend of mine, and
I didn't know that. I know him. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, Manolo worked here. He actually on the day of the opening, he shaved his head.
Why? Okay, that's
Okay, and he wrote on his head Cabo Wabo. So there's a scene from MTV that you see his head, and then the camera is following him, his head, and you could read Cabo Wabo.
Oh, cool.
And then you see the tray with the Cabo Wabo tequila bottle on the tray, and that's one of the scenes that was very, very nice scenes on the opening night. And Manolo was there. That was him.
So that opening night basically was one of the events that has changed Cabo, because you had all of those celebrities coming and going like, oh, Cabo.
Yes.
It looks beautiful. And
I think the best thing about Cabo Wabo, not only good for us, it was for Cabo San Lucas, for San Jose del Cabo, for Baja, that Sammy, every time he was on stage or in front of a camera, an interview, he always talked about Cabo San Lucas. So now that he was ambassador of the
Los
first
Cabos.
ambassador of
Yes.
tourism in Los Cabos, he deserved it very much. He was, since I know him, he was talking to all the crowds on stage. Cabo San Lucas, Cabo Wabo, this restaurant, the taco stand, the beaches, and the fishing, and everything, and that helped a lot the community. It was not only us. He could say only Cabo Wabo. No, he talked about everybody, different
that is
restaurants,
very important.
and that's very nice of him, and that helped the community, and that makes Sammy a person that is not only thinking about us, but on the rest of the community. And talking about the rest of the community, when we had serious situations with the hurricanes, with the Juliet and the Odile, we have to close for a few weeks because there was no power. And I told Sammy, and I said, Sammy, I have a situation here. We have all this food is gonna go bad. So we gave all the food that we have frozen and fruit and vegetables and whatever we got, even the ice, to take him home. And Sammy said, well, let's do something else. And I think he doesn't remember he did it. But we went to La Paz and bought a full trailer in La Ley, and of groceries, diapers, and things like that,
That is so needed.
And rice and beans and canned food and coffee and all that. And we had a problem. We couldn't get the trailer to cross by Todos Santos because the road was damaged. So we had to send pickup trucks all the way down there and take everything from the trailer and bring it back. So Sammy was like, we were back on all these neighborhoods, and we took trucks full of food, and we had people working here, all our employees. We had bags of Cabo Wabo, and these girls walk and grab stuff, and we have all the bags made exactly the same for everybody. So we have tables on these parks or areas, that football fields or whatever, and we give away the food. And Sammy was, oh man, I get goosebumps, man. All these people, man, it's so nice. They thank you so nicely, nice people. And we did it not only once, we did it a couple of times, and we had the response of the people. Then a lot of people started coming to the cantina. Hey, you have extra bags? Oh, we had some, and we gave them away. But our employees, that's the ones we took on the first hand, all the food that we had here, and all the, we didn't want all that food to go bad. So we decided, and they were working on the street, and there were some workers across the street, and I went with the box. I said, "Hey, you guys, you hungry?" I gave us some chicken, you know. "Oh, thanks, man." And they grilled their chicken, you know, right on the sidewalk, and they were paving the street. And well, we had a
But
good
I'm
time.
really happy that we talked about this, and that was something that I wanted to mention, because everybody here, you see Cabo Wabo and the celebrities, and you might come on an evening and see a rock star like hanging out with his friends, and because so many celebrities come to Cabo. But we, as a community, like people, we see also the other side, that a lot of people that just come on vacation, they don't acknowledge, not that they don't acknowledge, they don't see that. The humanity behind Cabo Wabo, behind you, behind Sammy, and how much you have helped the community, because Cabo Wabo, it's a landmark, but it's a place also that it feels Cabo. It feels like it feels so part of us.
Yeah. Well, definitely, Sammy as a celebrity, you know, and all his fans, with Amigos de los Niños, we decided to ask the fans to bring, you know, clothing and things that they don't use at home anymore, or appliances and toys and things like that. And on October, we put those cans by the entrance of the cantina, and everybody drops the stuff. And some people come with a full luggage. They empty their luggage and leave it, and some of them leave the luggage too. They don't care. And that's the fans. They have done a lot of stuff for the community as well.
And we say it lightly that, or it sounds like that, oh, just taking food to the communities and everything, but during a hurricane, everything shuts down. You have to look after your house if it didn't flood, if you can have access. Like when we went through Odile, like it was a very hard time for everybody. And then going and helping other people, I mean, you have to live it to understand it, but it was something really big that you guys did.
Well, that was a huge hurricane, and it was scary, and a lot of people in this town will never forget about that.
Oh, well, we won't.
Terrible days that we had, because it was not one day. It was a few weeks without power,
like
and fortunately we had a lot of help from the federal government and the state government, because Cabo was a whole mess, the whole town. And well, there's a lot of many things we have done in Cabo. It's like the shows we do with you never know who's going to show up and play or sing, or it's about 4 days ago, Toby Keith was here and he played, and the crowd got crazy. You know, you just says, "Oh, Toby's going to play?"
It's crazy.
You know, he wrote a song that is Cabo San Lucas.
Yes.
And I love this bar.
Oh my God, I love that song. Is because of this?
Yes, yes. Toby wrote that song for us. And
cool.
well, there's many things that people do for Cabo Wabo for us, and we have fans. Not only Sammy's fans for the Red Rocker, now we have fans for the Cantina, and they come all the time. And a lot of people on the cruise ships come and get a T-shirt and take a picture on stage or things like that. So we are well known, and we're going to be 32 years in this April, and for me it's the best experience I ever had in my life to be part of Cabo Wabo and being Cabo San Lucas. I saw it grow Cabo San Lucas. I saw Cabo, when I came here, I was at the Mar de Cortez Hotel. That was my first night, and there was only 5,000 people in this town. So now it's, I think 300,000. I don't know. It's a huge city now.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice to be part of a city, a community like this one, when you meet all the all the people since, they start businesses. We have seen all the hotels and the restaurants and all these businesses, because before we only had two people to distribute food for the hotels and the restaurant, even for the local people. You have to buy lettuce on that store because there was lettuce on that store only. Now you have 20 stores, you can get all kinds of things.
You had to go to La Paz to get some of the things. Just doing your groceries was such a...
Yes, everybody used to go to La Paz.
How would I describe
At least
it?
once a week you go to La Paz, or twice a month, to get a couple things that you couldn't get in Cabo. And it was, you have to drive to La Paz to get your groceries and all kinds of,
When we used to come here, we used to pack everything, because we couldn't find it here. But Jorge, what a great story that when you had your dream, you were working two jobs, you were prepared, and when that opportunity hit, you were ready to go and take it. And look at what you guys have done, and done for so many families, for Cabo and everything. But just before we go, tell us about that Marlin.
Oh, that Marlin. Okay, it's a regular Marlin. It was mounted, and I think we got it in 1992. And one day I painted it this way so it looked like flames. And I think the first one to sign the Marlin was a Slash. And we started getting all kinds of signatures, and I think this Marlin works more than a lot of cars, fancy cars, and it's
Can you imagine
beautiful.
how many people would love to have it in their homes?
Exactly. It's I have
Who are some of the
Good
people
memories.
that have signed the Marlin?
John and Whistle, Chad Kroger, Kenny Chesney, Kirk Hammett, Slash, Matt Sorum. Oh, I can tell you, I have too many people in my mind that I don't remember exactly, but it was fun, and I think we need to get insurance for that, for that Marlin.
I think that's a good idea, and it's a great story. And this place where we're conducting this interview, I mean, who has been in this room partying and having a great time in Cabo?
Yes, we had basically all the Metallica people are in here, not together, but on different occasions. Guns N' Roses. Actually, we had one of the best shows. Like I said, it's we had the live album with Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie, and Sammy and Slash. It was a great show. I mean, because when I was a kid, I listened to Alice Cooper, and I remember the song "I'm 18," and then I was 18, and I heard that song, and when I saw it live, it was so incredible. It was a great day.
You have had an amazing journey, amazing life, and thank you so much. It has been also, I have enjoyed so much this interview. I know that everybody is also going to be enjoying, and this is part also of our Cabo history.
Well, we have we put a little bit to Cabo, and now we feel responsible that all the communication and things that Sammy and everybody talks about Cabo, that's why we have so many people coming down, and so many people that they are moving from another areas from Mexico to Cabo, because from Guerrero, from Mexico City, from every part of Mexico, and a lot of other countries, even Argentina and Peru, people come to here and they want to move to Cabo because they like it and the weather is nice, and unfortunately we have a couple months when we get a little hurricane, but the rest of the year is a great place to live, is safe, and we have met a lot of people, very interesting people in Cabo. Wow.
Safe. That's one more thing before we go. Okay. about safe, because people go like, oh, Mexico is so this, and if you go to Cabo, be careful. And also Sammy has mentioned like it's fine, right?
Yes, we have Sammy that, he drives his car from anywhere. He goes to restaurants, bars, no problem. And we in Cabo, we have a lot of security, and it's a safe place, and, unless there's crazy people who gets into trouble because they're looking for crazy stuff, but basically it's if you come to relax and have a good time, this is the best place in Mexico, I think.
I
Cabo
think
San
so
Lucas.
too. I think so.
Los Cabos.
Jorge, thank you so much. It has been a great talk and chat, and how you have taken us from the beginning, everything from this iconic place at Cabo Wabo. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and let's have a shot of tequila.
Oh, I thought you never asked. I'm just kidding. So this
is the Santo Blanco. I'm gonna, and here, there's
Thank
a little
you.
one, and here's one.
Smells good.
Talking a lot. When you talk like that, you get kind of thirsty.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud. One shot?
This is good stuff.
It's smooth.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Oh, it's really
and when
good.
you put it on ice, it's much better. And by the way, it's signed by Sammy.
It's excellent, Paul. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for joining us and for following Destino. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, and also on our print magazine. Well, you will see a lot of this content. So thank you again for joining us.
Gracias.